Hi, we're going to talk about storage. Storage is a computer term. A different term is memory or space. They're talking about the same idea here. As I mentioned before, computer have four components: CPU, memory space, or we call storage, and input output. We have enough improvement for CPU. CPU is fast enough. We have enough improvement for storage. Storage is big enough. We're going to see more and more input and output improvement. Now let's take a look for storage. Storage, for example, DVD. DVD, talking about storage, actually we want to talk about analog and digital first. So what is analog? What is digital? If you still remember, we have VHS for movies. That's analog. We have DVD for movies. That's digital. Another example, if you still remember fishbone antenna for TV, and right now we have cable TV, we have disc for TV, we have voice over IP internet TV. That's the change from analog to digital. VHS and DVD, the difference between analog and digital. When you have VHS, the quality is not that good. When we have DVD, the quality is much better. Blu-ray, even better. Simply put, the digital has mostly replaced analog. We don't want analog, we want digital. Because number one, the quality. If you still have some VHS tapes and you have DVD, you can do a comparison for the identical movie. The quality is big difference. Not only the quality, reproduction. You have a DVD, you copy another DVD, copy another DVD, copy another DVD, identical quality, 0 and 1. You have VHS, you copy another VHS, another VHS. Every time you copy, the quality is lower. Once you have a DVD or you have VHS, you want to do mass production to make money, then you have to reproduce a lot. Digital, when you reproduce, you don't lose any details. Analog, when you reproduce, you lost detail. More and more details. So that's the difference. And talk about not only the quality, reproduction, talk about the size. VHS is much bigger, heavier than a DVD. So that's the reason here. Come back to this TV program. Long time ago, about 25 years ago, the TV station, they broadcast in an analog way. So how many channels you can see? You probably can see channel 4, 5, 8, 13, 21, 33. That's about it. About less than 10 TV channels you can see. About 25 years ago, the government says that we're going to change from analog to digital. The government talked to the TV broadcasting company. Hey, I give you a certain time. You have to change from analog broadcasting to digital broadcasting. And also give the viewer, like me, a choice. They give you like free analog to digital translator. That's a hardware device. Government give to you or give it to me. I have it. Although my TV is analog TV, I can use that translator or converter, maybe a better term, to convert from the digital I received signal to analog signal my TV can support. After certain years, you don't see that anymore. Now, We are not talking about cable TV. We are talking about broadcasting TV, the fishbone antenna, that kind of TV. And with that TV, used to be you have less than 10 channels to view. Now you have 30 or even more channels to view. From a subscriber or from a viewer's perspective, it's much better. Hey, I like that. Used to be I have 10 channel TV station. Now I have 30 TV channels. I love that. And for the TV broadcasting company, they also like this idea because that broadcasting we call microwave via the air. Analog, you need to separate. In digital, you can have the channel, the signal closer. They're not going to have interference, noise. That's the technology between analog and digital. TV broadcasting companies, they have more channels for new TV broadcasting channel companies and money for the government. Government had an auction for those new channels. Once the change for TV broadcasting from analog to digital, about 25 years ago, we dump the analog. We go with digital. There are more channels, much more channels for the government to place an auction for the TV broadcasting companies to pay money to get that channel. We call spectrum. Many spectrum with different frequency. And for the viewers have more TV channels to view. It's a win-win-win situation between the government, the TV broadcasting company, and the viewer, TV stations viewers like us. So that's an example for analog to digital. Today, if you go back to your home or to your apartment, you're trying to find some analog devices here. You may not be able to find it. You say, hey, I don't have any analog stuff here. If you still listen to a album, the big plastic album, yeah, that's analog. That's analog. You may argue with me, say that, hey, the quality is very good. I don't need a DVD, the quality is good. I agree with you, the quality is good. We're not talking about reproduce, right? You're not going to make a copy. How can you make a copy? A big plastic record. You probably cannot. A DVD, easy to make a copy. So we're not talking about that. So it's good quality. Then you still have some analog device. Or your phone line. Since 1920, we have phone. That's phone line, still analog. It's always analog since 1920, almost 100 years. 100 years ago, that's analog. Can it be converted to digital? If you subscribe to, let me think here. If you subscribe to a different technology, it can be turned out to be digital. It's called DSL, Digital Subscriber Line. And DSL, in this case, using your phone line, a portion, keep it analog. That's for you to make your phone call. A portion, make it digital. That's for your computer. From home, typically you have a phone, you have a computer. Then your phone go analog via the phone line. Your computer go digital via the phone line. That's why the term is called DSL, Digital Subscriber Line. Subscriber line is your phone line, digital, a portion of your phone line turned out to be digital. Actually, for the DSL, they have two types. One is asynchronous, one is synchronous. That's a little bit too much of detail. Let's go back to storage here. We understand about the analog and digital. That's very important. Nowadays, we go with digital. So in here, for example, your DVD, That's comparing to your VHS. That's analog. Everybody know DVD. You probably also use Blu-ray. That's better quality, still digital. For some old timers, not only VHS, analog, they even heard or used a term called beta. Beta size is smaller than VHS. Technology-wise, they are both analog, but beta has better quality, smaller size. Due to the business strategy, they charge money. Then all those companies dump beta, use VHS. Thinking about technology, thinking about business, thinking about money. The best product may not always win the market. Depends on your business strategy. That's pricing is one of your business strategy. We go to digital, turn out to be bit, 0 and 1. You have it, you don't have it, that's 0 and 1. And byte, that's 1 byte equal to 8 bits. See, they have, if you have 1 byte, that's 0 and 1, that's 2 combination, now you have 8. So 1 bit, that's 0 or 1. Then 2 bits, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. That's 4 combination. So you have 2 combination, 4, we counted here, 2, 4, 16, 32, 64, 125, 556, 256, and 512. That's your 8 bits. You have 512 options. You need to have those options to accommodate from 0 to 9 and from A to Z, upper cases, from A to Z, lower cases, and exclamation mark, question mark, comment, period, special character, pound sign, percent sign. So you have 512. That's plenty. That's why we make it. A byte is 8 bits. It's not like arbitrary number. People just pick it up. No, we need to have 8 bits. More than that, we don't need it. Less than that, it's not good enough to represent info. And A, for example, maybe 01011101. That's an A. That's called ASCII code. Since day one, all the computers use same language. We call ASCII code here, since day one. And we talk about byte here. Now we know it. And at first we have kbyte, 1000 byte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte. We haven't really used a lot of terabyte. That's not for us. For a SAN, like storage area network, for those companies, they use terabyte here. For us, PC users, gigabyte is good enough for us. And here they show you kilobyte actually is 1024, but about 1000. Megabytes is about 1 mega. They have more than that here. So that's tera here. We are going to see tera, not for subscriber, you and me. Giga, that's fine with us, gigabytes. But terabyte is for company. Company have that byte stuff. Pay attention to the uppercases B. You see here, all have uppercases B. KB, MB, GB, TB, they all have uppercases B. Can you make it a lowercase b? Yes, you can, like megabyte. So what's the difference between uppercases MB, that B is uppercase or the B is lowercase? Are there any difference? Or I'm free to use either way. No, you're not free to use either way. That's a big difference between the megabits and megabytes. That B, lowercase b, is called bit. Uppercase B is byte. Bit and byte. That's not the same here. You make it uppercase, that means a byte, 8 bits. you make it lowercase, that means a bit. That's 0 and 1. When we are going to use MB uppercase, when we are going to use MB lowercase, or when we're going to use megabyte, when we are going to use megabit. We are going to use megabyte when we are keeping this info. For instance, I'm keeping your resume that may have a fancy resume with pictures. That's possible. That's going to have, say, 2 megabytes. We need to have 2 megabytes to keep your resume. That resume have some pictures. Or PowerPoint. PowerPoint have many pictures, captions there. So we have 2 megabytes. Or your photo. You take a picture, you may have 5 megabytes. That's your bytes. Storage, your picture, your resume, your PowerPoint slides, you keep in your computer. Now you want to transport. Once you are transport, they use bit. They don't use byte anymore. The difference is that you have a 2 megabyte picture. You want to transfer from point A to B via internet, and your internet speed is 2 megabits per second. The bit and byte, 1/8. How long would it take? Well, if per second can only take 2 megabits for a megabyte, you need 8 seconds. That's 8 times to transfer that picture. So that's the difference between uppercase B for byte and lowercase b for bit. One, you want to keep it as a file. One, you want to send it, transaction, during the transaction, transfer to other place. When you want to keep it there, things has to make sense. Your resume, you have John Doe, that's John Doe. Then each one need to have 8 bits, a byte, to keep it. Otherwise, it makes no sense at all. But once you want to transfer the internet, they counted by how many 0 and 1 I send it there. I'm not trying to make sense out of it. So I don't care. So that's, once you use the internet, that will be megabits per second. Ask you, what is your internet speed? At home, in your apartment, you say, hey, 2 megabits per second. That's my internet speed. Good answer. You say 2 megabytes per second. No, that's internet speed. When they are transferring your photo from A to B, they don't care about a byte. They count it in terms of bit. So that's a big difference. Don't use it wrong. If you use it wrong, people know you don't know much about computer or internet. Let me give you an analogy that may help you to know the difference between byte and bit. You have a diner set. That's a table and 6 chairs. You're happy with that, typically, right? We have 6 chairs, 4 chairs, or 8 chairs. I mean, you have a diner set with a table and 3 chairs. Kind of weird here. I mean, we usually don't have that. We usually like to have 4 even numbers of chairs. Okay? Now, you have a diner set with 6 chairs. You want to ask a moving company to move. You want them to write it down. What they are moving, you want to check on that. You ask them to write down 1 diner set. They're not going to do that. They're going to write down 1 table, 6 chairs. To you, that's a 1 diner set. To them, 7 pieces of stuff they need to move to. Once they move to there, they count it 7. Okay, that's 1 table. The 7 are chairs. They're happy. They're not, if they should write down 1 diner set, they go there, how many chairs I have. I don't know. A diner set may have 6 chairs, 4 chairs, 8 chairs, 10 chairs, who knows? So they have to write down the numbers. They are moving companies. They're not trying to make sense out of your diner set. Okay? One chair broke, you throw it away. You have a diner set with 1 table, 5 chairs. It's kind of uncommon to a moving company. They don't care. They're not going to tell you, hey, you need to get yourself another chair, huh? They're not going to tell you that. They're going to say that, I'm going to move your 1 table and 5 chairs. Makes sense to them. May not make sense to you or your friend, but makes sense, perfect sense to them. That's analogy, and that's your bit and byte. Magnetic storage. Magnetic storage here is good, but it subject to interference. If you have a current running, then current running this way, you're going to have magnetic from this way. That's physics. A magnetic tape here, based on that, you may lose some information, read and run. The term, say, hard drive, C drive, look like that. That's your user drive, user info. Remember we talked about RAM and ROM. ROM to keep your Windows 10 operating system. RAM for the CPU to process your resume. For instance, you're writing a resume, and your resume info will be there. Once I unplug, you lose your resume. So what are you going to do? You're going to, from time to time, keep to save to your hard drive, or we say C drive. That's your C drive. Hard drive, C drive. Then your computer, you want to have a big C drive. Then can accommodate all your files here. Tape drive here. Use magnetic tape to store information because they have large of info. They have a big, giant tape libraries that can code a terabyte of info. That's tape. But nowadays, we are getting rid of that. We are using a server. We are using server like your hard drive technology here. We are not using a tape. Remember we talked about that 0 and 1, and we talk about here we have USB port here. USB port is for faster I/O speed, and USB drive can keep more info. We're considering speed, considering about memory size. Hard drive is your C drive. Tape drive, we are not using it anymore. Optical storage here, that's your CD, DVD, is a light. They don't really touch it. If you go home, you listen to your music with a big plastic record. You see, you're going to move that needle here, actually touch your record. And running, you can listen to the music. The DVD, you don't do that. It's a light. They shoot a light to detect 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Many, many ones, that's high pitch. Many, many 0, that's low pitch. They're shooting, you have it, you don't have it, you have it, you don't have it. That's optical storage. CD, DVD, Blu-ray. They give you example, CD, DVD, Blu-ray. Those are all digital. It's no more analog. CD, they can keep up to 700 megabyte. Would that be megabit? No. You need to use ASCII code. Maybe inside they keep some number, A, B, C. Then you need to have a byte to make sense. Bit make no sense. Bit makes perfect sense for internet, for transportation. DVD, that's your CD, and the DVD. See, what's DVD stands for? I don't know. Do you know? No, 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 no. Here they spelled it out. What does DVD stands for? That's a term. Many times we use a term, then we don't know what does that term stands for. I mean, nobody care, nobody want to know, just use that. Like one example will be IBM. You know what's IBM PC, IBM? Yeah, I know, no, IBM is a computer company, IBM. What does IBM stands for? Whoa, never thought about that. Now you don't need to think about that. IBM stands for International Business Machine. You know it, it's not going to help you. You don't know it, it's not going to hurt you. Same idea. You don't want to ask people, what does DVD stands for? Oh, you know that, you don't know that. People don't use it. That's your DVD. Comparing to CD, 700 megabytes. DVD give you gigabytes. That's 1,000 times difference here. DVD. And Blu-ray, they not give you like 8 gigabytes. They give you 50 gigabytes. What's the difference between 8 and 50? More, 0 and 1. Better quality. DVD has replaced VHS tape. Has Blu-ray replaced DVD? No, no. Better quality, but I already have enough DVD. I'm not going to be buying some new Blu-ray, more expensive, better quality. DVD quality is good enough. To me, that's number one. Number two, whenever talking about technologies, looking for options, how many people viewing DVD long time ago? Or how many people viewing VHS long time ago? Long time ago, when we have VHS, we have a store called Blockbuster. That's a famous store. That's globally. You go to Japan, you see Blockbuster, not only in the US. And you rent a VHS movie, go home and view it. It costs you $375. About $4. That's a lot of money. $4 for renting a movie. But considering a family viewing a movie, don't go to the movie theater, it's still cheaper. And that's DVD at that time. That's something funny is you need to rewind. DVD, you don't do that. A tape, after you view that 2 hours movie, you need to rewind. If you don't rewind, the Blockbuster worker there will rewind the VHS you borrow and charge you. How much they're going to charge you? $365.75. Charge you about $4 for rewinding fee. Whoa, that's a lot here. Yeah, that's good old days. That's good old days. But right now, with the DVD, so Blu-ray. Blu-ray has not totally replaced DVD because internet. More and more people viewing movies via internet. They don't even need to buy a Blu-ray. Blu-ray may be expensive, $20. If I can view the movie, $5 via internet. Why I want to buy a new Blu-ray for $20? Because you're going to view it again, not necessary. Many people, many movies we viewed one time. That's enough. That's enough. So why I want to take my chance? Spend more money to buy a Blu-ray, and with that kind of idea, I'm going to view it later on. No, the things have been changed. So recording technology, talking about read, write, read and write. Yeah, you can record it. VHS, you can make a copy, and DVD, you can make a copy. Depends on the DVD. If that says read and write, then you can read, you can view it, you can write, you can make a copy or change it. The content here. Solid state storage, that's a term they use. memory card here. Digital camera, you have memory card here. This one, they have 1 gigabyte. This is going to have 4 gigabytes. Some may have 20 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes. You think that's big enough, huh? That's for your digital camera. Sounds good. Used to be good, great. But right now, with mobile phone, you don't have this memory card. With the new iPhone, you can take lots of pictures. You can keep those pictures in your iPhone or put it under a cloud, a server in somewhere from a cloud service provider. Then you don't need to have this memory card. We're going to see less and less use of this memory card. Technology change. You think about 4 gigabytes. That's a big space to keep photos. Think again. A new iPhone, take a picture. You need to have 5 megabytes. 5 megabytes. Even you have 5 gigabytes, that's 1,000. You keep 1,000 pictures. You think 1,000 pictures, a lot of pictures? No. You take a lot of pictures after 1 year, you have 1,000 pictures here. So then what are you going to do? You're going to change another memory card. Or you run out of space. So that's, for my iPhone, I have iPhone 11 Pro. I have 256. Instead of 128, I have 256 gigabytes. They even have 512 gigabytes. If you're considering 512 gigabytes, comparing to 4 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes nothing. They can have many, many pictures in the phone. USB flash drive. USB, look like that. Replace floppy. If you have a chance to see what's a floppy, then you know floppy is easy to get damaged, and it's magnetic, and its memory space is kind of a limit, mega or even K byte, very, very small. You want to have something can keep much more info, more portable, less easier to get damaged. And the most importantly is the I/O speed. You plug in your USB flash drive to a USB port. That info, you want to show it under the computer. You want to download, upload, it's very, very fast. Floppy, very, very slow. USB replace floppy disk. Pretty much like DVD, replace VHS, tape. USB have different standard, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. It is not uncommon for a student to bring a USB drive to the classroom and figuring out it's not working. Well, it's working in my house, in my computer, but not working in school with this computer. So, because they have different version, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. You have a different version. So that happens. Memory card or SD card here, secure digital card here. That's for your digital camera. As I mentioned, with more and more use, they don't use this phone card here. You can, like this one. This one smartphone using this SD card here. Yes, they can do that. Or mobile phone, they have a card they call SIM card. That SIM card, you can change your phone, then you only move the SIM card. Nothing lost. Everything is there. That's your info. That's the SIM card, your info here. Yeah, not your pictures here. Your pictures are in the memory space. But the SIM card is identify your user profile. Your user profile is still there. Your contact, your friends, contacts still there, but your photo is not in there. Your photos, you need to upload to a computer from your phone. Later on, with a new phone, download it from your computer to your phone. Then you keep all those pictures. That's different. That's your phone. You see the technology change. Many people using a mobile phone to take pictures. They don't have this memory card. They don't use digital camera. Many people using a flash drive to keep a lot of info. People invite me to do presentation all the time. What I bring with me? I bring my notebook. Okay? And sometimes they say, hey, we have a notebook for you. You don't need to bring your notebook. I bring my flash drive. That's my PowerPoint presentation. Or if my USB drive and your computer is not compatible, they cannot read my USB drive, PowerPoint, what can I do? I send this as an attached file to my personal email. I go to a place, want to do the presentation, hook up the computer, connect into internet. Most of them have Wi-Fi connection. Connect to internet, open up my personal email with username and password, find that attached file in a message, in an email message, I send it to myself. Open up that, or if I want to download, I can. So it's there. So it's pretty much easier and reliable. So if you have your notebook, you can keep the PowerPoint presentation in your notebook. You can also keep it under a USB drive. You can also keep it on the internet. There are 3 places you go to do a presentation. 3 places have your PowerPoint presentation slide. No worry. Yeah, no worry. Yep. We talk about the storage, that's your memory space. We see the technology change. Basically, your home phone mostly replaced by your mobile phone. Your camera replaced by digital camera, then replaced by your phone. Used to be, we have a company called Kodak, K-O-D-A-K, famous for their film, developing their film, printing their film, and they make lots of money, bankrupt long time ago. Technology change. We used to have Blockbuster everywhere, bankrupt. Technology change. Be careful with the technology change. We need to use new technology from a user's perspective. Company need to accommodate the technology change and still survive. That's called sustainability. That's a lesson or a challenge for company to face every day. Technology has changed so fast. And talking about storage, some companies, they are designing some new technology. They kind of worry about the info being leaking out to the competitor. So some of them don't even trust their engineer. You go to the lab, you cannot bring USB drive. Who don't want you to download info? That can download a lot of info. You cannot bring your mobile phone. Same idea. Don't want you to take pictures here. So that's maybe the case. Be careful how you use your mobile phone, how you use your flash drive. Technology has been changed a lot. Whenever considering technology, like we are learning computer here, you need to consider about the law, regulation, the users, easy to use, the privacy to keep, and the culture. Yeah. So some people get use of one product. They don't want to change. Or different place, they want to do different things. like the young generation, long time ago. They talk the phone all the time. Now they don't. A new culture, with the technology change. They text a lot. Text is not real time. I'm busy with my friend. Some people text me. Well, I can still talk to my friend and view the text. So, multi-processing. The scene has been changed. That's something I would like to share with you for this lecture.